Well, hello and a very big welcome to the Life's Good. It's an absolutely gorgeous Good Friday morning. I'm able to be outside in the garden. The birds are singing, the sun is shining, and I'm looking forward to a wonderful few hours out here on my garden in the greenhouse and one or two other jobs that I've decided I need to do. Now, it's surprising how much difference watering the garden has made. In my last video I showed you and explained how we have not had any rain of any amount for quite a few days now, probably nearly 2 weeks at least that we have not had rain. We've had all sorts of strange weather but no rain falling, so I had to set to and water my plot. I had a few casualties, a few things had withered and I'd lost a few plants. However, the watering that I have been able to do has made a huge difference to my plot, and I'll show you what has happened there and how things have recovered. Well, Daisy's trying to get in on the act again, guys. She's running around in her cage behind me, trying to interrupt everything I'm saying. But we'll crack on. As I said, the watering has made a huge difference. Now, my all year round lettuce had suffered badly as a result of not enough moisture, and I've been putting the garden sprinkler on morning and evening for the last 3 days, and what a huge difference that has made. Suddenly everything has picked up. My Lola Rossa lettuce has all stood up with some lovely leaf growth going on. The all year round lettuce, they've stood up. I've got a couple of losses. I think if I look in the greenhouse, I've actually got some of this left in trays in the greenhouse, so I should be able to fill the gaps with some new plants. So all is not, but they have stood up. These are looking absolutely wonderful now. Vibrant green and all standing up. The spinach has come back up. It was looking a little bit sad with the lack of moisture. So yeah, I'm pleased. Everything seems to have picked up with the addition of watering. Now I'll take you back over to the other side, to where I've got my brassicas, and I'll show you the effect that the watering has had over there. We'll say a quick hello to Daisy since she wants to get in on the act. On we go. Hey, aren't you lovely? Yeah. Aww. She loves a cuddle. She likes attention. And if I just lift the tripod up, guys, and let you see Peggy over there, she's enjoying a bit of sunshine on this lovely morning. But girls, you're gonna have to stay there. I'll be back to see you later. You'll probably be expecting me to give you some extra food and bits later on. Now, I need to show the viewer my cabbages and so on, so be back and see you later, girls. Well, look at these guys. Water on these has made a huge difference. I've still got the chicken wire over the top. That's to keep the pigeons and jackdaws and so on off. If I just lift this out of the way a moment and show you here, my plants have all suddenly stood up. They were looking very, very jaded, very, very sad, and the lack of moisture, lack of rain had affected these greatly. So, as I said, by putting the garden sprinkler on and making sure that this plot was well watered has had a huge effect on the plants here. They were crying out for moisture, and I'm glad I spotted it when I did. I think where I had the fleece over as well, I couldn't actually see the soil surface. All I saw was areas where I had plants underneath the fleece, and of course the chicken wire in the case of the brassicas. But on lifting the fleece and inspecting the soil, that's when I realized I had a problem. So watering everything with the garden sprinkler has obviously saved the day. Now I'll just move you to the Calabrese further back and show you the effects there, because that's quite dramatic as well. You can probably see through the wire these have all suddenly picked up. They've thrown up some new leaves, and they've all stood up. I'll just lift the wire out the way so you can see a couple of these. There's one there. There's another one back here. One further over there. That one's not looking too great, but I'm sure he'll pick up. There's another one further back there and a couple more. I've got about 15 or so Calabrese in this area. And as I said, I could only see 3 or 4 the other day. They were just totally flat and withered and gasping for moisture. So I think the sprinkler has been a total success, and I'm going to keep it out on the plot and keep an eye on the ground, and I will be watering this entire plot frequently as possible, to maintain the moist soil, to keep all these plants growing. Now I've got a couple of other things I wanted to show you this morning, guys, and I'm going to ask your opinion on something. So I'll lift you back up onto the tripod and take you around to the potting shed and my other workshop shed, and explain a few thoughts and ideas I have in respect of those. Okay guys, well look, this is inside my tool and potting shed. It is primarily just a store for my garden tools, although I do occasionally use the shelf on the right there to do a little bit of potting and seed sowing and so on. But mostly it is just a little store area. I'll try and lift you down. As you can see, there's quite a bit of floor space in here. It's home to the lawnmower and a strimmer, but mostly it's the garden tools and a few other containers and bottles and packets of chemicals and plant feed and bits and pieces. And that little green bedside cabinet underneath there is full of things like plant labels and parts for the lawnmower and so on. Well, I'll just pause you for a second there, guys. There was a rather large aircraft coming out of Newcastle Airport. They're actually taking off over our home today. They're normally landing. They're taking off today, which actually is a lot noisier. So I just paused you for a moment there. Going back to what I was saying, that little cabinet on the floor, the little green thing, that's full of things like plant labels and support sticks for potted plants and all sorts of paraphernalia and bits and bobs. It could be incorporated elsewhere. Now I'm actually looking at moving all of this and incorporating it into my other shed directly behind this one, which is an 8x6 Apex shed. I'll take you around in a second, let you have a quick look in there. I'm thinking of putting all of this in that other shed, so it then becomes not just a little workshop and store shed, but also my tool and potting shed combined. So let me take you around and show you, and then you can have a little think for me, maybe give me some ideas as to whether this is a good idea, and I'll explain to you why I'm thinking of moving all this into the other shed. Well, this is the other shed, guys. It's got electrical power. It's home to all my other tools, DIY equipment, my wife's bicycle, the barbecue, some garden furniture, all manner of other bits and bobs. It's been insulated on the roof with this Celotex insulation. It's got lighting, as I said, it's got power. It's got a superb work surface in here. It could do with a good tidy up, a few things gotten rid of. But I'm thinking that with a little bit of thought and a little bit of effort from myself, all the garden tools that I've got hung up in that other little shed could be brought into here, maybe hung up on the back wall or part of the side wall, I'm not certain yet. But if I incorporate everything from that small shed into here, the area occupied by that shed could be better used. And my thoughts are another greenhouse. Now that small greenhouse I have is 6 foot by 4 foot, and side opening door which slides. You've seen in there, you've seen the space. It gets very, very full with all my seed trays and pots and containers when I'm producing plants and flowers, vegetables and so on to go out into my garden, into my tubs and baskets. But there are some things I grow in there that need to stay in there, that I like to grow inside a greenhouse. Primarily that would be my tomatoes, cucumbers, chilies and peppers. Plants of that nature I like to keep indoors under glass. And I don't have the room in that little greenhouse to do that and have trays of seeds and germinating seeds and plants and so on. Another aircraft going over, guys. We'll just have to put up with that one for a minute. It's much smaller. It's not so bad. So yeah, this is my idea. I'm going to consider now moving everything from that small shed into this shed, combine this as my workshop, my potting shed, my tool shed, as well as sort of storage and garden furniture and so on. Incidentally, it does have a small freezer in here as well. We keep a lot of the produce we grow in this one as a support to the one in the kitchen. So bags and bags of carrots, peas, beans, all manner of things in here. And then at the weekend, my wife and I nip out, grab a couple of bags of bits and pieces and put them in the freezer in the kitchen. And then during the week, we take them from there, and come the weekend, we replenish again. But this is constantly being topped up in here. The other thing I'm thinking about is we have jars of chutneys, jams, pickles, all those sort of things. If I was to provide better shelving in here, this would also be a storage area for all of those, rather than filling up a cupboard in the kitchen, which could be better used for other items. So lots of thoughts going through my head, lots of ideas. Let me know what you think. I'd appreciate some feedback. This needs a good tidy up. There's a lot of bits and pieces in here that I can get rid of, throw out, dispose of, incorporate. I've got bird feeders sitting around. I've got some old hanging basket brackets here which need to be wire brushed and painted. All these sort of things, little jobs I'd planned to do, haven't done, need to be finished off. They need to be used or thrown away. And this shed, I think, would be better suited combined with the other one and provide me with space for a greenhouse in the location where the other little shed has been. Let me know what you think. I'm going to have a look at this. I'm going to start making some effort into tidying up and see what sort of room I can create in here for all my garden apparatus, as well as everything else that's already in here. Right guys, take you back to the greenhouse now. We'll finish off in there. I've got a couple of things I wanted to point out to you and discuss before I say goodbye. So I'll see you back in the greenhouse in a minute. Well, while I was having a rummage through the other shed, my sort of workshop shed, I found a little packet on the shelf which contained an insect screen. I think we'd purchased it to use in the house somewhere, but it deemed not suitable, or we found it wasn't suitable, or didn't fit or something. It's been sitting in the shed for at least 2 years or more. I found it and I've put it in my greenhouse. I've set it up here. It's fixed to the sides and it's got a magnetic catch in the middle. Now I can leave the door open, allow the air to flow in and out of the greenhouse, but it stops all the insects getting in. I know I need some insect life in there to help pollinate some things if I had things in there flowering and fruiting. That's not a major problem. The problem is I get a lot of flies in here that are really pesty. I get green fly, black fly, all manner of things appearing in my greenhouse, which are a nuisance and we don't want. So this little insect screen, I think, is going to be very useful. I popped it on the door this morning and as you can see, it opens quite easily. It's held together by magnets. Brilliant. so I can leave my greenhouse door open now and not worry about all manner of pests getting in. Right guys, here we are. I wanted to show you my pumpkins that I've been growing from home sowed seed. Look at these babies. They're absolutely huge. They've come romping on. They are desperate to go out now. I do have thoughts on a location for these. When I put those out, hopefully this weekend, I will be showing you that. Now they have been hardened off. I've already had them outside for the last, 3 days or more. I've had them outside, even when it was chilly wind and pretty cold, no more than like 6 or 7 degrees outside. I've had those pumpkins sitting outside on top of the chicken house, hardening off. So they're ready and desperate to go out now. I've got some sorrel left over in the corner here, and I've got some Mizuna sitting there. I planted a few out, but they're coming on really, really slowly, and I'm really not sure whether they're ready to go out or not. It's not something I've grown before, so I'm erring on the side of caution. I've only got those few plants there, so I was going to let them grow a little bit more before I consider putting them out. I've got lots of other bits and pieces here. Now I did buy, now this is courgettes. I bought a packet of seed this year and planted all of them in this tray. And as you can see, only 6 have germinated. Now they weren't an expensive packet of seeds. They're probably about 80p or something from Wilkinson's. But 6 plants out of 24 germinated and grown. A little disappointing. However, I don't have a lot of room for lots of plants, so if these 6 do mature and I get a harvest of courgettes from those, that'll be worth it. That'll be fine. I'll be happy with that. Now remember, I took the mint out and replanted that. Look at this. It's gone absolutely crazy. It's beautiful, and I really need to take it from this little pot now and put it in a bigger pot and keep that outside somewhere. I don't want to put it in the ground. It will ramble all over the place and take over the garden. Little project I've got here as well. I've got a little terracotta pot, and I've planted this up with an assortment of lettuce plants, salad plants, and going to let those mature in there. That might be nice to stand in the kitchen, and we can pick lettuce leaves from that as we're making sandwiches or salads, etc. I've got a little pot here. I've put some marigolds in. I'm going to bring those on, and then when they're ready, I'll put that somewhere in a little location so we can enjoy the flowers of those. I planted some dwarf asters. They're in that little tray there. They're coming on wonderfully. The chilies, they're doing well. The peppers, they're doing well. Swede, multi-sown swede. Now, I wasn't sure if multi-sowing the swede was a good idea or not. I'd not seen anybody else try it. But the seed was quite fine. And I do find with swede, when I put it out in a drill in the garden, I get lots of losses. I don't get that much success. So I thought I'll try it in these multi-sown cells and see. Now, if there's too many in a little cell there, say for example here I've got 3 or 4, back there's even more. I've got quite a collection of swedes in there. Now I can probably thin those down a bit, so I end up with just 1 or 2 good plants to plant out as a little plug out onto the garden. Well guys, it's been a busy morning. It's going to be a busy day if I carry on tidying up that shed. It's a gorgeous Good Friday. The sun is shining. I'm sure everybody's thinking about socialising, barbecues, and getting outside and having fun. And us gardeners will be keen to get out on our gardens and get everything sorted out. And looking forward to vegetables and flowers and all those wonderful things coming on for the coming spring and summer. Well, look guys, I'm probably going to be busy over the weekend. It is Easter weekend and I've got a few things planned and a few events to attend. And I'm going to spend some time with the wife, the lovely Cheryl, and we're going to be enjoying a biker's barbecue later today and a few other things over the weekend, and hopefully sit outside and enjoy our garden in the lovely spring sunshine. Now, whatever you're doing, guys, you take good care. We'd love to see you back again. Come back and visit anytime you like. Don't forget to subscribe, ring that bell, and we'll see you again soon on The Life's Good. Bye-bye now. Happy Easter.